to Eat, Drink, Explore Media's Market Fresh, live every Thursday evening right here on Crush 92.5 FM. Now, broadcasting live from the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo, here's your host, Randall White.
A very good Thursday evening, everyone, as we kick off another live edition of Market Fresh, heard each week right here on Crush 92.5 FM from 5 o'clock sharp until 6 o'clock, just as the market is getting underway. Bell rings just a little bit after we go off the air, and all the produce is available to be sold at that moment. It is the 23rd day of May, 2013. Pleasant day here on the Central Coast for the most part. A little breezy on the cool side, but nice clear skies. Comfortable, really, when you think about it. We will have a check on the Market Fresh forecast coming up just a little bit later in the show. I am your host, Randall White, sharing my passion for local and sustainable foods each and every week. And as a reminder, you can also watch a video version of this radio show online live on the Market Fresh page at eatdrinkexplore.com or by using our free smartphone or tablet apps. Very easy. Just ahead in our Fresh News segment, we're discussing new social media rules for wineries and breweries. You'll want to hear this free advice from a top attorney in the field. Also ahead on our show this week, the benefits of riding your bike to the local farmers market and some tasty ways to enjoy the last full week of Bike Month here in San Luis Obispo. And we'll share some seasonal cooking tips from a local gal who found cookwell.org. Courtney Coleman will join us in the second half hour. And as always, we'll round out the show with a look at tonight's Higuera Street Market, including the entertainment lineup and a vendor spotlight with our Market Fresh Cruise Director, Jen Young. Tonight, Jen gives us the skinny on the California Festival of Beers. I went to that last year. It was a lot of fun. I went to they have a tasting. I think it's on Friday night, a grand tasting where they're beers that aren't at the actual event on, on Sunday? At any rate, lots of fun. I want to take 2 seconds to mention a very yummy pizza I had yesterday. And if you're watching online, I'm going to show you a picture. I'm one of those people that takes pictures with my phone. It was at Enzo's East Coast Eatery on Higuera Street between Garden and Broad. And it was a surprising discovery, to tell you the truth. I've always thought of Enzo's as a place to satisfy kind of greasy, meat-filled cravings late night, and it is. But the restaurant also offers, get a load of this, as far as I know, the only vegan pizza menu in the city of SLO. That's what I'm told. If you know differently, definitely let us know. But the pizza was fantastic, and not only do they have vegan options, they have gluten-free options too. So you can get a gluten-free vegan pizza. And for all those people that just haven't had pizza in a really long time because of different dietary restrictions, well, Enzo's just might have the pizza for you. They are not a sponsor on this show. When I have a really great dining experience somewhere, I decide I better share it, So keep that in mind. All right. Our Thursday evening Market Fresh program comes to you from the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo, right above Higuera Street. We're between Osos and Moro so that we can watch and listen as the city's famous farmers market comes to life, and that's exactly what's happening outside our windows right now. Just above Pete's Coffee, that's where you will see us. This hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio is brought to you by Eberly Winery in Paso Robles, open daily from 10 in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening with complimentary wine tasting and cave tours, voted by Wine Spectator as one of the best tours on the Central Coast. Eberly Winery is located on 46 East in Paso Robles. You can log on to eberlywinery.com for more information. That's EBERLE winery.com. And make sure you heard about Eberly right here on Market Fresh. All right, taking a really quick look at the weather right now. We're looking for low 60s at the start of the market, right around 50 degrees when it wraps up at 9 o'clock. Clear skies and a little breezy as well. We're back in just a moment.
It's Market Fresh on Crush 92.5 FM.
Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org. Time now to tap into the Market Fresh grapevine for the latest news affecting the fresh food and beverages you love. This Saturday, hundreds of cities worldwide, including right here in San Luis Obispo, will host protest rallies to highlight growing concern over the way our food is grown. According to the local March Against Monsanto Facebook event page, those attending are asked to wear red and meet at the downtown Mitchell Park. Start time is 4 in the afternoon. The event's main purpose, to bring awareness to genetically modified foods. Organizers are encouraging attendees to follow the rules and stay on the sidewalk. This event does not have parade status, so you are not welcome in the street. They emphasize this is a peaceful gathering to educate the public. Time to take a look at the California crop report, starting with veggies around the state. Farmers reporting excellent conditions for tomatoes, garlic, onions, and even early cantaloupe. Greenhouse tomatoes are being picked. Sugar snap peas, I just had some of those the other day, yum. Lettuce, onions, garlic, squash, fava beans, and radishes. You'll still find those at the farmer's market. Fruit, strawberry harvest continuing around the state. Apple growers are thinning the crop. Apricots, cherries, and early variety peaches and nectarines are being harvested, so you might find some stone fruit at your local market. Late variety peaches are being thinned in Stanislaus County. Pomegranate trees are in full bloom. Fruit starting to develop. The olive bloom is nearing or at completion. Valencia oranges, the harvest is picking up, and star ruby grapefruit. Late navel oranges continue to be harvested. On our local vineyards, berries are sizing on grapevines in some early varieties. Blooms are also appearing in some later varieties. And speaking of vineyards, wineries, breweries, and other beverage companies specializing in alcoholic beverages need to be a little more careful now when posting to Twitter and Facebook, as a new set of social media rules are being enforced by the federal government. As it turns out, and really, this is true when you think about it, social media is basically a form of advertising for these companies. So the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau is now saying companies need to follow the same rules when posting to social media as they do when advertising. Joining us on the Market Fresh live line now to further explain the details of the situation is Sarah Mann. She's an experienced wine industry corporate and business attorney with the San Francisco law firm Hinman and Carmichael, which specializes in beverage law. In fact, the company's website is beveragelaw.com. Welcome to the program, Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I saw this article in the Press Democrat. That's Sonoma County's paper, which often focuses on wine and that sort of thing. And I thought, here at Eat, Drink, Explore Media, we follow hundreds of breweries and wineries on Twitter and Facebook, and I see posts all the time. And sometimes I wonder, what can they say? And now apparently they were wondering the same thing, and now the federal government's making it more clear.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, these aren't new rules. They're just, the federal government's just explaining that the existing rules for advertising for alcohol now apply to all social media, basically, which means there are certain things you can and can't do, and they lay it out for you pretty clearly what you can and can't do and say. One of the things, a mandatory statement of the winery's name city and state where they're from. It has to be included on the main pages of any kind of social media. It could be in the profile section or in the about section on a Facebook fan page, for instance.
Okay, but it doesn't have to be included in, say, each tweet because you'd use up all 40 characters.
Right. Yeah, they do. They do make have some reasonable guidelines on that.
What are some of the absolute no-nos that these companies cannot post?
Yeah, there's a list of prohibited statements. I'd say probably some of the most common ones are, saying anything that's false, disparaging another competitor's products.
Oh, okay.
You're not allowed to have obscenity or indecency which is a little bit of a gray area sometimes, I know.
Yeah.
And then with health-related statements, you have to be very careful about claiming general, health benefits for wine, for example. You have to be very specific about the study you're citing, and there are all kinds of pitfalls that you can get into if you say something like that.
Right, especially with Twitter, where if you tweeted something out and said, new study shows wine will let you live 10 years longer, a winery couldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So for some of the different wineries and breweries that I follow, I've found that the individual winemaker or brewmaster might have their own Twitter feed, and that's the more active one and seems to have more followers. How is that feed affected? Does that count as say the winery or brewery's feed?
Yeah, actually it would. They're looking at, you have to be really careful with basically any employee of the winery or brewery. Any kind of, even their own personal social media sites should comply with these regulations.
Oh, okay. Now, wow. So that could really extend any employee?
Yeah, to be safe, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And well, you're the attorney this has been your area of law for a long time, so I'm going to take your word for it. What about when you go to, say, Sierra Nevada's website or, one of the given wineries here in the state? A lot of times it'll ask you to put your birth date in to prove how old you are. But there's really not that level of security when you friend someone or, you start following a Twitter feed or a Facebook page. Does that matter that there might be people under the age of 21 following these feeds? Yeah,
actually, this latest advisory by the TTB doesn't talk about age verification so much. It's those sites where you see the age gating, which is what they call it up front, where they ask your birth date.
Age gating, okay.
That's really a voluntary. It's a voluntary thing that's done by wineries and breweries to comply with best practices.
Right. I was always wondering about that because I thought, well, really, you could put in any date you want.
That is true.
I wish they'd make it a little easier sometimes because I have to go to these sites and I'm in a rush and I'm like, oh, really? Okay. I have to be reminded about how old I am again. Yeah. So in terms of reaction from the different clients that you might have or people outside of your client list, what have they been saying regarding this sort of uptick in enforcing these rules?
I think generally people are glad to have more guidance because before there was just nothing. There was nothing about the social media, so I think people are pretty happy to have some kind of guidelines, even though there's still some questions that are not addressed here. Oh,
are there any one in particular?
Well, for instance, there was a question regarding videos that are already posted and out there on the web that have already been made. They're wondering if the TTB would be looking at those things for compliance.
Right.
We really don't know that yet.
Interesting stuff. Sarah Mann with Hinman and Carmichael in San Francisco. Very easy to find them online, beveragelaw.com. I asked you at just the last minute to do this. I really appreciate it, Sarah.
Sure, no problem.
All right, you make it a great day.
Thanks, you too.
And stick around, everyone. We are just a couple of seconds out here from a commercial break, but right after that, we'll be talking about why it might be beneficial to take your bike to the farmer's market. It is Bike Month, after all, and SLO really is a bike town. You're listening to Market Fresh on Crush 92.5.
It's Market Fresh on Crush 92.5 FM.
Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org.
Market Fresh, broadcasting live from the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo. Here's your host, Randall White.
All right, 5:19 now, the time here on this Thursday evening as we get closer to the launch of another Thursday night farmers market in downtown San Luis Obispo, where Higuera Street turns into just a carnival atmosphere, really. It's about the food, but it's about so much more on Thursday nights. It is one of those signature farmers markets throughout the United States. One of the oldest, and in my opinion, one of the best. So we try to give you some of the tools that you can use before you head down and experience it. Or if one of the other markets throughout San Luis Obispo or Santa Barbara counties happens to be your favorite, certainly anything you learn here on the show can be utilized at one of those. So I go to the Saturday morning market, which is my favorite, at the, well, I always call it Madonna Plaza, but it's not. It's Gottschalk's, yeah, right there in that Gottschalk's in that parking lot. And it is the busiest for the farmers themselves. They make far more money at at that market than they do here on Thursday night, because there's a lot of looky-loos on Thursdays. But they're all good markets to ride your bike to, and that's what we're going to talk about right now, because San Luis Obispo is very much a biking city, and this is Bike Month right now, if you didn't know it. We did discuss it a bit on our Sunday show, Eat, Drink, Explore Radio on Sunday mornings. But we thought it would fit into Market Fresh because people do ride to the markets. Scott Smith with Arts Cyclery joins us in studio right now to talk a little bit about why SLO is such a great bike city. Hey, Scott.
How you doing?
Nice to have you joining us here. And we were during the commercial break, we were talking a little bit about bike valets, which they have at the Thursday night market.
Right.
And I wasn't sure if they're still doing that or not, but they do that.
They do it, yeah, for sure.
It's now neither of us have used it.
We haven't
before.
We were just talking about that.
But it does make it easy for people that don't know where the locks are, or the racks are in town, or just want someone to take care of it.
Well, for farmers market especially, when there's such a heavy traffic downtown, parking can be a nightmare for sure. So with the local community right around downtown, it's very convenient to ride a bike. And then when it is so crowded, so many people riding, and trying to find a place to lock it up is almost as convenient as finding a parking spot. So the bike valet makes it very easy to safely check your bike in, go do your shopping or walk around and see the sights, and then when you're ready to go home, safely go get it. And
who runs that? That's volunteer?
That's, I believe, the Bike Coalition puts that on.
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's a great service. I'm glad they do it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
As a business owner downtown here, we're highly encouraged not to drive our cars down here, and so I didn't need the encouragement. I've been cycling for more than 30 years now to bike or to work or school. But on days that it's raining, they actually give us free a little bus pass.
That's nice.
If you work in the downtown core where the meters are,
right,
then you can just take the bus on days. And there's so many racks on the buses now. I remember when you had to kind of compete for the racks.
Oh, for sure. They make it easy.
And they have some new racks now, brand new ones that they put on that I still haven't quite got the hang of. But because if the bike gets close to if the bus gets close to the curb, the little thing that kind of flips around hits up against the curb. But they taught me a little trick on what you do is you lift your bike off and you twist it the other way. Anyone that's run into that knows what I'm talking about.
There's the hot tip for the bus.
I know. I really got off track there. Sorry about that. But it is Bike Month right now, and this show does focus a lot on food. So how do you put food and bikes together? With a bike breakfast, right?
There you go, for sure.
Yeah, and they have those throughout Bike Month. When's the next one? Do you have that in your notes?
I do. It's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah, bike breakfast, which is it's actually at one of our friends, John Rickert at Flanders Cyclery, right near where our old shop was. He's hosting
Flanders,
that right.
I've been there too.
Yeah. So that's where the bike breakfast is tomorrow, and then from what I have here, I believe the following Friday, the SLO Bike Club on the 31st is hosting it there on the corner of Santa Barbara and Morrow Street. At the end of the Bike Boulevard right there, across from the yoga center.
And I think that's like the big party they hold, right? They often do kind of like a big end of the month breakfast party sort of thing, and that would make sense that the SLO Bike Club would be putting that on.
Yeah, so that's going from 7 to 10 on the 31st.
Are we talking? Have you been to one of these?
When we had our shop on Santa Barbara Street, we hosted one.
Are we talking just like bacon, eggs, pancakes?
Well, everybody's up to bring whatever they like, and typically it's there for the people who are commuting on their bikes. They can stop by, get some coffee, get some juice, pastries, whatever it is. So it's not. When we did it, it wasn't like a hot meal with bacon and
Yeah.
eggs and pancakes and all that. But, we had bagels and pastries and coffee. And so...
You know what I love?
I think
Speaking
you could
of
expect something
coffee,
like that.
I like the local coffee roasters in town often will give you free coffee if you come in with your bike helmet.
Right. Yeah, that's a bike month
Isn't that
tradition.
I think that's great, because it's in the morning. You're showing that you're biking to work or whatever.
Right.
And they used to do it like just one day, and then I think they do it throughout the month now. They'll have to check on.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, on rideshare.org, you can check the calendar of events for Bike Month. It's winding down now, but that's where you can get all the info for if you want to get a free cup of coffee or whatever. I don't know what's left on the calendar.
Now, your location where you are now, it's kind of out there by Trader Joe's, out suburban, and it's become sort of a hot spot for athletic companies. Right.
Yeah. Well, Sports Warehouse is centered there, and that's a company we partnered with about 5 years ago to move into the online world. Mm-hmm. And when we did that, we needed more space, and there's I think it's like 140,000 square foot building.
Wow.
That we share with Tennis Warehouse, Running Warehouse, and now the Riding Warehouse, which is not riding bikes, but riding horses.
Yeah.
And so we're out there as Art Cycle, where we have, a big warehouse space, a beautiful retail space. And
you're doing a ton of online?
Yeah, it's a growing part of our business. San Luis Obispo and the community is definitely where Art started the business and grew it. And then, Eric and I had the opportunity to take it over about 10 years ago. Obviously we're centered around the community, but to grow the business, we're in a small town, which is why a lot of us are here, and to grow and just keep up with the times, we went online. And so in the past 5 years, that's actually grown to be about 70% of our business.
70%?
Right. Not to say that local 30% is not a huge part of our business. We're actually even now, I'm looking, splitting promotions up, kind of doing locals only stuff, where we're doing promotions online. We ship all over the world, but for San Luis, our drive-in residents or whoever comes by the shop, we're doing a weekly thing in the New Times, so if anyone wants to grab that, they could look for our junior ad and see what's going on. Like this week, we're doing 20% off all apparel.
Oh, that's a good deal.
That. Yeah. So
my first thought when I saw you move out there was that you were trying to get the jump on when eventually the Bob Jones Trail will go.
Be right there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go literally like it's supposed to, city to the sea.
Right.
As it's named. But what is the status of that?
I think, one, the progress of what's been done has been good, and I know the people that work on that work hard on it for sure. Yeah. So, but there's issues with property owners, and eventually,
it'll segment
the dream
itself.
will happen. Yeah. But there's been a lot of work on that type of stuff.
I'm looking forward to the day when that's there because speaking of food and bicycles, we like to ride out to Avila for like a lunch or a brunch or that sort of thing, and then ride back, and you kind of eat whatever you want and ride back and feel good about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Burn those calories.
Scott Smith with Arts Cyclery. The website is artscyclery.com. Cyclery is like just not an easy word to say.
I'm not even sure it's a real word.
Does it really?
It always gets caught in spell check.
Yeah. So. That's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Art, great to have you on. A happy final week of Bike Month.
All right.
Get out there and enjoy the farmers market. Your daughter is performing tonight.
Yeah, she's dancing with the Academy of Dance.
That's so cool down by Napomo. So go catch that, everyone. What time is that? 6 o'clock?
Probably 6 o'clock, yeah.
6, yeah. Well, get down there. Don't miss it.
All right, good deal. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Stick around, everyone. It's all about wellness cooking right after the break.
It's Market Fresh on Crush 92.5 FM.
California business owners, entrepreneurs, farmers, authors, and other professionals, this message is for you. We're looking to highlight those of you who give back to the community, care about the environment, and have the health of our state as part of your business model or focus. Our new California Love website is in the beta testing phase. So, during the next few months, we're offering free listings to qualified people or business entities. It's a win-win situation. You help populate our site with quality, locally owned California companies, and we help direct customers to your business or product. Simply head over to CALUV.com. That's CA as in California, LUV as in a cute way to spell love.com, and enter the information for your business today. Why wouldn't you? It's easy and it's free. CALUV.com, the California Love Business Recommendation Tool.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Market Fresh, broadcasting live from the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo. Here's your host, Randall White.
Welcome back to the program, everyone. Great to have you with us. 5:33 now the time on this Thursday evening. It is time for yet another farmers market in downtown San Luis Obispo. And if you're watching our live video simulcast, you can see lots of activity. They seal off Higuera Street right around this time. I think let me look over my shoulder. Yeah, they've already sealed it off. So they've got all the vendors are now setting up their tents and lit the grills and all that sort of stuff. So fun times straight ahead here at the Downtown Farmers Market in San Luis Obispo. All right. We are all about local, seasonal, fresh, healthy foods, and we like to share as many tips along those lines as we can. And so we want to bring in Courtney Coleman with cookwell.org. Right? .org?
Yeah.
Okay, cookwell.org to talk a little bit about Cooking for Wellness.
Yeah.
Great to have you here, Courtney.
Thank you so much, Randall.
We had your husband on the show one time. What was that? A couple of months ago?
Yeah.
Regarding those artisan knives that he makes, artisanal knives, I guess that's the adjective.
Yeah. You'll see his article in Edible SLO. This season's issue of Edible SLO did a pretty big spread on him, two full pages. It was so great.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I'm gonna have to check that out. You have that one, Anthony, our audio guy. I'm asking him. I want to look. You know what I did? I was one of those people that I looked in it and then found our ad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
It's in there. And then I put it down and I haven't picked it back
I
up
did that
yet.
too.
Okay, good. So I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So, all right, Courtney, when you hear about, when you say cooking for wellness, what does that mean?
That means working toward getting off most packaged foods, which have a lot of genetically modified ingredients these days, all refined ingredients. The refined salts, sugars, and refined vegetable oils, and not including refined grains, refined wheat, flour.
Yeah.
All causes an acidic blood condition. It leads to degenerative illness. What they're finding is indigenous people who don't eat these packaged processed foods, or even out at restaurants a lot. All the restaurants are using these refined ingredients as well.
Yeah.
If you're cooking at home with the whole grains and beans and grass-fed meats and tons of seasonal veggies with the unrefined oils and whole salts and whole sweeteners, you don't get degenerative disease.
Right.
And you can even reverse cancer, osteoporosis, heart disease, high blood pressure, and systemic inflammation. All kinds of diseases are totally... we turn over our blood every 4 months. We have all new blood cells. So it makes a lot of sense that with diet and lifestyle and getting enough sleep and having loving relationships in your life, right?
Yeah.
The whole picture translates to wellness.
Interesting study that came out within the last week or two regarding sodium in the diet and showing that, like you were saying, using the natural salts and stuff like that sodium's not the big enemy. It's the injection of all this processed sodium into foods well beyond levels any of us should be having.
Right.
But some of these, and I was happy to hear this because I do like salt, and I use sea salt in my cooking and stuff. But maybe some of those guidelines for how much salt should be in your diet, you can go past it and it's not a big problem, is what they're saying. But it's the source of the sodium, and that's what you're alluding to.
Yeah, sodium chloride is what table salt is, and you don't find that anywhere in nature.
Oh, okay.
Salt always has... sea salt or land salts that are natural and unrefined have a whole spectrum of trace minerals that the body uses and needs. And that sodium part is it's more minimal. So you get more rounded flavor with the whole sea salts. They're not so sharp, like real salty. And in moderate amounts, there's something your body craves and needs. It's a great way to remineralize your drinking water. Take a pinch of the pink Himalayan or Celtic gray or Portuguese, any of these whole sea salts that are off color, real salt.
Yeah.
They sell that at Trader Joe's. Yeah, I like the pink too. But you can put a pinch of that in your 8-ounce glass of water and stir it in. It'll dissolve and it adds electrolytes. The other word for electrolytes is trace minerals.
Right.
So you're creating Gatorade without the sugar.
I came down with like a virus sort of thing that sent me to the hospital, and I had, when I was leaving, they said, well, you need to not eat anything for like about a day, but you need to have Gatorade. And I was like, Gatorade, really? Like, is there anything other than Gatorade? And they're like, well, you need to have a completely clear liquid that has electrolytes.
Yeah.
So I wish I'd known that. I would have just made my own, because now I have all these Gatorade bottles just sitting in the refrigerator. They're never going through the mouth.
Yeah, there's several ways to remineralize your drinking water. That's just one, which I don't recommend for people who are still on a lot of packaged foods and eating out at restaurants a lot. They've got so much sodium already going on. They'll probably want to do the lemon juice, a squeeze of lemon, or
I like that.
Yeah, a teaspoon of that raw apple cider vinegar. Very cleansing and detoxifying and prevents arthritis. And
Let's talk about apple cider vinegar.
It's great.
I just bought a thing of that, an organic little bottle of it at New Frontiers, and I've been trying to use it in salad dressings and
Great.
such. What are some other examples of how you can use the apple cider vinegar? Because it really is, I don't want to call it a
marinade.
cure-all, but it's pretty awesome, huh?
It is a cure-all. You can even put it topically on a wound, and it disinfects and speeds healing.
Wow.
People wash with it. I mean, it's great, and it's a digestive tonic first and foremost. It kind of mimics hydrochloric acid and helps you digest your meal real thoroughly, and gives you a ton of trace minerals and enzymes when it's live or raw and organic and unfiltered. Those
Yeah.
are the things you want to see in the label, like Bragg's or Spectrum brands. But you can use it as a marinade, just like any other vinegar. And what my health guru, one of them anyway, his name's Hugo, and he teaches something called solar nutrition. What he taught me is that raw apple cider vinegar is the only beneficial vinegar for the body.
Oh.
Most of the other vinegars cause an acid blood condition, whereas apple cider vinegar swings the pH more toward the alkaline end of the spectrum.
Really? So like red wine vinegar wouldn't give you the same effects as
Yeah, and in
Interesting.
moderation, it's probably fine. If you're well and healthy and in balance, have fun at going out to eat for that 20% of your diet that is the
Yeah.
emotionally soothing deviation.
Right.
And enjoy, but not all the time. You don't want to buy a bunch of balsamic and use it every day. But I love the flavor. My husband just made a beet salad with goat cheese and balsamic, and he had so much good stuff in there. Maybe
Well,
arugula. It was lovely.
Beets are a superfood as well, are they not?
Mineral rich.
When we were kids, if we were having coughing fits and came down with a cold or had a really intense sore throat, my mom would take apple cider vinegar and honey and heat them slightly, to make the honey a little more viscous and blend those together. It became a taste that I grew to love.
Yeah.
It sounds, I don't know, disgusting to some people, but I love the combination. And sometimes I'll just do it, just make a little on my own, especially if I have any sort of throat condition. And I'll tell you, it is shocking to me how quickly it works to get rid of a cough.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. They call it a cure-all. A lot of people consider it. They just always have it on hand.
Now, you do a number of cooking classes, and you have several coming up. Let's talk a little bit about those. What are you excited about?
I teach Sundays at New Frontiers, and I'm teaching a class with Zola Allen, my friend, who teaches Cajun cooking.
Oh.
And so it's cooking soul food with whole foods.
Uh-huh.
And we're doing that on the 28th of July.
I did not know that you taught those classes there. I knew that you taught classes. I didn't know they were there when I mentioned that I bought my my cider at New Frontiers. Yeah, I wasn't trying to plug or anything.
I have my own business, but they approached me and asked me to teach in their demonstration kitchen when they had that new one built out there.
Yeah.
What was it, 5 years ago now?
I've seen that kitchen there near the checkout stands, and I was wondering, I wonder when they have classes in there because it's such a nice facility. So you're utilizing those classes, that classroom space.
That space, yeah. And they have a website now that has their class schedule. And on the window, if you're at the registers and you look to the right, you'll see it's written on the window for that month, the upcoming classes, which is great. And they usually have flyers in the stores. But I'm also teaching Whole Foods Cooking 101 for busy people and busy mommies.
Yeah.
Because I include snack ideas for kids and how to streamline your routine, make it easier to get your Whole Foods meals, take them to work, make your big pot of beans on Sunday.
That's what I do. I make big, huge pots a couple of times a week. I use a pressure cooker because it just does it so much more quickly.
Yes.
I cannot be separated from my pressure cooker. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I will fight the person that comes in and tries to take that out of our kitchen. But the big pot of beans. And is that the trick to really make things in larger proportions? We're used to buying everything now meals at Trader Joe's.
For me and my husband, I'll make a pot of brown rice on Sunday or at the beginning of the week, and then I'll make a pot of maybe half and half millet and amaranth as a base for both breakfasts and desserts. If I want to have fresh nuts and fresh seasonal fruit with that, it's just excellent.
We'll do that.
Simple,
we'll make like a quinoa salad that we can kind of use as a side.
Yes,
a protein-rich side.
Yeah, you're soaking and sprouting. You're initiating the sprouting process for these whole grains. And the next day you're giving it fresh water and bringing it to simmer for however long for that grain. And then you've got it as a base. And your beans will drip down into it, or the nuts and the fruit. I mean, it's just a wonderful staple, especially for a carbohydrate type, body type. Because some of us, our ancestry is that we ate a lot of meats and seasonal vegetables, non-starchy vegetables. And we're more of a protein type, body type. And we metabolize more efficiently when we eat more meats and non-starchy veggies.
Courtney,
and some are carbohydrate types.
We have less than a minute left, but I want to know, for people going into the store, and there's the bin section.
Yeah.
What 3 items should people rush to the bin section and buy there? Can you name 3?
Dry beans and grains of all kinds. I
Yeah.
would get the black beans, the adzuki beans, the mung beans, the pinto beans.
Mung? I just made something with mung.
Yeah, you can make a wonderful garlic and lemon kitchery
Yeah.
with yellow curry. It's an East Indian stew. It's a 1-pot meal. Make that on Sunday and eat it all week.
I
Take
love
to
it.
Work.
Courtney Coleman, cookwell.org, has a recipe to share with us, but we never got around to it. But we'll put it on the website and direct people there.
Yeah, and people can get my group class schedule on my blog, and that's Cookwell for Life, all spelled out. .blogspot.com. I just posted my summer class
It's
schedule,
Market
cooking
Fresh
and baking
on
with gluten-free
Crush
grains.
92.
I'll link it. We're back in a moment.
Randall White here, host of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, with a tip for Central Coast wine tasting. Eberly Winery was recently voted Winery of the Year by the world's top sommeliers and has one of the best local tours according to Wine Spectator. Eberly Winery open daily 10 to 6, and the winery's cave tours and wine tasting always complimentary. It's easy to find, too. Located on Highway 46 East, just 3.5 miles from Highway 101. Now it's time to plan your visit. Just head to eberlywinery.com.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
Can we have your attention for a moment? Eat, Drink, Explore Media has an important date we want to share with you. Saturday, July 13th. We invite you to join us at a craft beer and food event like no other. At last count, generous samples from more than 70 breweries will be paired with local culinary treats for the 2013 Breast Fest along San Francisco's waterfront at Fort Mason. Going on its 14th year, the annual Breast Fest has grown dramatically, raising money for an incredibly important cause, providing free, complimentary treatments for women battling breast cancer. The Charlotte Maxwell Clinic offers services such as acupuncture, massage, organic foods, and transportation. The clinic's core mission to provide relief from the terrible side effects of cancer and its treatments. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is very proud to be among the main sponsors for this year's event. For more information, go to thebreastfest.org.
Fresh, broadcasting live from the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo. Here's your host, Randall White.
Welcome back to the program, everyone. Great to have you here on this Thursday evening. The market is fully coming to life, just minutes away from, right now you can get samples for free. They'll give you the samples, but you can't buy anything. Prepared food starts at 6 o'clock, and then produce goes on sale at 10 minutes past 6 o'clock. They ring a bell. Courtney Coleman with cookwell.org is fantastic. She just left the studio here high above Higuera Street, and boy, she's fun. Lots of really great energy coming from her. We're having Courtney back on a regular basis because she's a good egg, as they say. Another good egg is our cruise director, Jen Young. She joins us from the Lido deck, as we like to say, and she is all about beer today. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Randall. I'm not normally all about beer, but today it's for a good cause.
Right.
So, as always, we have a lot going on downtown tonight. As always, at Farmers Market. When there isn't, I would be surprised. Now, tonight is Public Works Night. Very interesting. I didn't know that happened here at Farmers Night, but I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. First, on Napomo Street, North Star Session is back, and they were here a few weeks ago. They're a rock and roll band with an influence from 60s and 70s, kind of SoCal, California rock and roll from back in that time. They released 3 albums, and they were actually featured on NBC's TV show Parenthood, which is really cool. And fun fact, they actually tour 3 weeks out of every month, which is a lot of time on the road. Now, on Broad Street, Academy of Dance is also back, and they are the home of the San Luis Jazz Dancers and also the Civic Ballet of San Luis Obispo. And Scott, who was a guest earlier, his daughter is going to be performing tonight, so go ahead and check her out. But they are a leading dance company on the Central Coast, and one of their goals is to teach confidence and assurance through the art of dance. And whether you've been dancing since you were little or just want to check it off your bucket list, they have dance education for all ages and levels. Now, on Garden Street, we've got Christopher Hawley and his band, The Rollers, performing tonight. Now, they're based out of Southern California, but they made the trip up the 101 here to come to Farmers and entertain us. And he's got a soulful voice, but the music is a feel-good sound, and it's going to be a great way to start off the Memorial Day weekend right. So I talked a little bit about Public Works Night, and actually it is National Public Works Week, which I didn't know that existed, but it does, and it's a way to honor people who work in the public works industry. And the city of SLO is going to have tractors and trucks and buses and other equipment that they use through Public Works out on display. So it'd be cool to take the kids out there, let them learn a little about what they do and what the Public Works employees do for the city and the county. And actually, they just held a ribbon-cutting ceremony at 5 in Mission Plaza at the Warden Bridge. And they did that to kind of celebrate the improvements that they just made, and they just finished the bridge. And what they did is they made it more accessible for pedestrians and those with wheelchairs and motorized assisted vehicles. So take a walk over there if you haven't already. And lastly, on Morrow Street, Lauren Radis is back. And I actually got to check him out a couple weeks ago when he was here. He's a singer-songwriter. There was a huge crowd around. Everybody was loving his music. It's an independent folk rock type of sound. And he writes about life, love, sadness, joy, anything. We can all relate to that. And he performs all over the Central Coast, and he's back here at Farmers tonight. Now, like you said, Randall, I've got beer on the brain today.
All right. But like you said, for a good cause.
Exactly. Now, the 27th annual California Festival of Beers, or more affectionately known by some of us as Beer Fest, is happening this weekend, tomorrow, and Saturday. And Crush is actually one of the sponsors.
Yeah, that's great. Way to go, Crush.
Now, it's a 2-day event, and you can sample 200 or more beers. That's a lot of beer to sample.
A designated driver. That's the first thing I'm thinking of. Exactly.
And they actually do have designated driver tickets that are cheaper. Okay. Not allowed to drink, but you can get in and help your friends out. Now, there's going to be tons of breweries there, over 6 dozen. And some of the local ones are Creekside Brewing, Firestone Walker, Central Coast Brewing. So it's got that hometown feel, but there's also going to be a little bit more nationally known ones as Heineken, Blue Moon, that kind of stuff. So you can get a flavor for pretty much anything. And it's one of the largest and oldest beer festivals in California. And they're expecting over 3,000 people to come through the gates this weekend. So it's going to be at Madonna Inn to handle that huge crowd. And there's not only going to be beer, but there's food, there's music, there's pretty much something for everybody. And like I said, it's for a good cause. And the proceeds goes to Hospice SLO. It's a nonprofit grief counseling organization. And all proceeds, not just a portion, not a tiny bit, all proceeds go to Hospice SLO. And since we here at Market Fresh and Eat, Drink, Explore like to talk about healthy and good things for your body, there are some health benefits to beer. Now, I did some research, and I found that beer in moderate amounts, I must stress, is what a lot of the research and the studies say, can help you get stronger bones, stronger heart, boosting brain health, things like that. But I would definitely recommend doing your own research and find out what's right for you. But I would always recommend drink responsibly, whether you're going to Beer Fest this weekend or just going out downtown. Always drink responsibly. So that's what's going on this weekend, Randall. There's a lot, and I'm excited.
Yeah, that festival, California Festival of Beers, is really fun. Like I mentioned before, I went to the Friday night event last year. I think that was last year. It used to be held out in Avila Beach, and they outgrew that because they wanted to make it a multi-day event. And then now it's at the Madonna Expo Center. Taking its place in Avila Beach is a tequila festival.
Oh.
That's out there.
Well, there's a little something for everybody everywhere.
Right. And then I'll be out in Avila Beach on Sunday for the Blues Festival. Going to see the Steve Miller Band that I grew up listening to. So that
fantastic.
Yeah, so
well, I'll be at Beer Fest on Saturday.
Will you, though? Uh-huh. And with a designated driver. You didn't pull the short straw?
We're actually going to walk, so it's even better.
Oh, good. Yes, excellent. Yeah, of course you can do that. It's and I believe they have little transit buses that also help out as well.
I heard. I'm going to check that out.
Jen Young, our cruise director for Thursday nights, thank you so much. Everything sounds great.
Thanks, Randall.
And let's hit the weather forecast now. We are looking at temperatures in the low 60s to get this market started. Right around 50 degrees as the market winds down at 9 o'clock. The sky is crystal clear out there, but if you're watching our video simulcast, you can see the tents are fluttering in the wind right now. We've got winds anywhere between 18 and 26 miles per hour out of the west-northwest, mostly the west. Coastal fog will be minimal tonight, developing late and dissipating early, but the temperatures will stay cool. We're kind of in a holding pattern for the next week. Thank you to Anthony Renaro, our audio technician and all-around great guy. And, of course, to you for tuning in to Market Fresh each and every week here on Crush 92.5 from 5 until 6 o'clock. I'm your host, Randall White, saying for all of us here at Eat, Drink, Explore Media, sink your teeth into something Market Fresh.
It's Market Fresh on Crush 92.5 FM.